Language is more than just words. It's how we express ideas, emotions, and stories. Today, we're diving deep into the 8 parts of speech that shape the English language. Let's discover how each one plays a role and how they're classified. A noun is a name of a person, place, thing, or idea. For example, doctor is a noun because it names a specific person. Beach is a noun as it represents a specific place near the sea or ocean where people go to relax. To cycle is a noun because it names an object, a physical thing that you can see in use. Justice is a noun because it names an abstract idea, which is the concept of fairness and moral rightness. Fear is a noun because it names a specific feeling or emotional state. Remember, nouns are everywhere. They can be people, places, things, or ideas. Now, let's see if you understood the nouns. Here's a quick quiz. You've got 6 seconds. Find out how many nouns are there in the sentence. Did you get them? There are 6 nouns in this sentence. Next up are pronouns. These are words that replace nouns to avoid repetition and make sentences smoother. So instead of saying Mary loves her dog, Mary takes care of the dog, we use pronouns. So we'd say she loves her dog. She takes care of it. See, pronouns make sentences smoother. So there are many forms of pronouns. He is a subject pronoun. Instead of saying John is running, we use he and say he is running. Subject pronouns indicate the person or the thing which is doing the action. Her is an object pronoun. Instead of saying I gave Sarah the box, we can say I gave her the box. An object pronoun indicates the person or thing which is receiving the action. The word theirs in this sentence is a possessive pronoun. A possessive pronoun shows ownership or possession, indicating that something belongs to someone. Himself is a reflexive pronoun. A reflexive pronoun is used when both the subject and object of a sentence are the same person or the same thing. For example, he is looking at himself. In this sentence, the person doing the action and the person that is receiving the action are the same. Reflexive pronouns end in self or selves. Pronouns make sentences easier to understand by replacing nouns and keeping our speech and writing smooth. Quiz time. She loves her dog. She takes care of it. Identify the different types of pronouns in these sentences. Did you get it? The word she in both these sentences is a subject pronoun, and her in the first sentence is a possessive pronoun, and the word it in the second sentence is an object pronoun. Can you create a sentence using a reflexive pronoun? Share your answers in the comments. Let's move on to verbs, the action-packed part of speech. Verbs are words that describe actions, states, or occurrences, but verbs have classifications too. So action verbs are the most common, like run, dance, or think. These describe physical or mental activities. Linking verbs like is or seem connect the subject to a description. For example, and she is happy is a linking verb that links the subject to the adjective. There are also helping verbs like is, do, have, and will, which help form different tenses or moods. And she is running, the verb is helps express the continuous tense. Remember, verbs are powerful words that show actions, occurrences, and states of being. Quiz time. Identify the verb in this sentence. You seem upset. Did you get it? The word seem is a linking verb that connects the subject you to the adjective upset, which describes the state or condition of the subject. So linking verbs like seem do not show action. Instead, they indicate a relationship between the subject and its complement. Next are adjectives, which add detail and describe nouns, but adjectives also have different types. We use descriptive adjectives like beautiful or tall to give more information about a noun. For example, in a beautiful day, beautiful is an adjective. Tall quantitative adjectives tell us about quantity. For instance, in 3 apples, the adjective 3 gives us a number. Then there are demonstrative adjectives like this, that, these, and those, which point out specific things. Adjectives make our sentences more interesting by giving details about nouns. They can describe color, size, shape, and more. Can you find the adjective in this sentence? Take a moment to look for any words that describe nouns. Did you find the adjective? If so, which one? There is actually no adjective in this sentence. Great job looking for adjectives, though. Now, on to adverbs. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or even other adverbs. They often tell us how, when, where, or to what extent something happens. For example, in the sentence, he runs quickly, the word quickly is an adverb as it describes how the verb runs. So in the sentence, the sun is very bright, the word very describes an adjective, bright. Here, the word bright is called an adjective because it describes the noun the sun. In the sentence, she speaks extremely quietly. The word extremely is an adverb because it describes the adverb quietly. Here we should note that there are two adverbs in this single sentence. The first adverb is the word quietly. It is called an adverb because it describes the verb speaks. The second adverb is the word extremely because it describes another existing adverb quietly. We also have adverbs of time such as today, tomorrow, or yesterday, which tell us when something happened. Adverbs of degree tell us to what extent, like very quiet or extremely. Adverbs add more detail to actions and descriptions. They tell us how, when, where, how often something happens. Can you find the adverbs in this sentence? Look for words that describe how the actions are being performed. Did you find them? So the words softly and quickly are the adverbs in the sentence. They describe how she spoke and how she finished her work. A preposition is a word that shows the relationship between a noun or pronoun and other words in a sentence. It often indicates location, direction, time, or position. A preposition on describes where the book is located. The preposition to describes towards where a person or thing moves. But the preposition in describes when something has happened. In this example, the preposition in describes when she was born. The preposition under describes the position of an object in relation to another object. Prepositions play a crucial role in English by providing information about relationships regarding location, direction, time, and position. What is the preposition that describes the relationship between the cat and the windowsill? The preposition is on. It indicates that the cat is located on the surface of the windowsill. Next are conjunctions. These are connectors. Conjunctions link words, phrases, or clauses together. For example, the conjunction and connects the words apples and oranges. Here, but connects two verb phrases, swimming and not running. Here, or connects two independent clauses, we can watch a movie and we can go out for dinner. Conjunctions have classifications too. Coordinating conjunctions. These are used to join two ideas that are equally important. Think of them as joining two parts of a sentence that could stand on their own. Common coordinating conjunctions are and, but, or, so. For example, I want to go to the park, but it's raining. Here, but connects two different ideas, wanting to go to the park and it is raining. Next of subordinating conjunctions. These connect a main idea with a supporting idea. The supporting idea depends on the main idea and can't stand alone as a complete sentence. Common subordinating conjunctions are because although, if, when, for example, I stayed home because it was too cold. Here, because connects the reason why you stayed home with the action of staying home. Next, correlative conjunctions. These come in pairs and work together to connect related ideas. For example, you can either have pizza or pasta for dinner. Here, either and or connects two choices, pizza and pasta. In short, conjunctions like and, but, and or make our ideas flow smoothly from one to the next. Without them, our speech would feel choppy and disconnected. In this sentence, I will not only study but also practice. Can you find the conjunction? Did you find it? The conjunction in this sentence is not only but also. This pair works together to connect two related actions, studying and practicing. This type of conjunction is called a correlative conjunction. Finally, we have interjections. These are the emotional bursts in our speech, the sudden exclamations like wow, yay, oops, or oh, that show our feelings. Interjections are the most spontaneous part of speech. They capture emotions and reactions in the moment. They're not connected to the grammar of a sentence, but they add emotional weight, making our language feel alive and expressive. Did you understand all 8 parts of speech? Now, let's put your knowledge to the test. Wow, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog and it happily plays in the sun. Can you identify all the 8 parts of speech in this sentence? Take a moment to analyze it. Did you find them? Here are the parts of speech in the sentence. The words fox, dog, and sun are called nouns. The word it is a pronoun. The words jumps and plays are called the verbs. Quick, brown, and lazy are the adjectives. Happily is an adverb. Over is a preposition. The word in is a conjunction, and the word wow is an interjection. Oops, I think I forgot something. The word in this sentence belongs to which part of speech? Share your answers in the comments below. So remember the 8 parts of speech: nouns, pronouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, conjunctions, and interjections. Each plays a vital role in how we communicate. Together, they make our language dynamic, colorful, and precise. What part of speech do you find most interesting? Let me know in the comments below.